Is your little one having trouble learning in the classroom? Well, if this continues for a long period of time, your child may have a learning difficulty. So tell me, Yolanda, what are the symptoms that a child might have a learning difficulty?
Some of the symptoms that we see when people present to us, and what we know from research, is that people report children not listening really well in class. They're not really engaged, maybe. Some people think that children might be a bit busy. Maybe they're avoiding their work a little bit. And it's really where your child does well, like on average or even above average in general, but there's a particular area where they're really not performing and it's significantly lower than their overall ability.
So what are some common learning difficulties then?
There's actually a couple of groups, if you will. So there's your speech and language based ones. Those are sort of where children have problems with language and speaking language in general and receiving that. The other group that we have is an academic abilities one. So that's where you have your dyslexia and dyscalculia, where children struggle with the actual academic writing or reading, and there's sort of a rest group that we see, and under there sort of your ADHD, where children struggle with attention that then impacts on their learning ability.
Because I know most parents have a child that sort of struggles at school, and the teachers are always saying that they're always talking, they're always distracted. So is that, as you said earlier, it's a bit of a sign that they could be avoiding their work because of a learning difficulty?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there may be other causes, but it's always good to rule out that, does the child have vision and hearing problems? That's always good to rule out. And then if the child really consistently presents with difficulties and in behavioral terms, there may be an underlying problem like a learning disability, definitely. And you can do a little bit of a short assessment to rule those things out.
So how can you support your child then to achieve the best in the classroom? Because many of us have children that are struggling a bit.
I guess having a good relationship with the teacher, or at least try and have that communication open to see what it is they're struggling with. If children really are struggling consistently and the teacher reports that to the parent, it might be a good idea to sort of explore delivering that in multiple modalities, as we call it. So teaching it's mostly verbal based, but maybe also giving a written piece of information so the child can maybe process both hearing and reading the instructions or whatever assignment they have to do broken down in little steps. And the parent can, for instance, be helpful with reading, setting time aside for reading, for a little bit of exercise, giving your child a reward for spending some time on learning and trying to do a little bit of homework and making that sort of a positive experience at home. Anything that sort of makes it a little bit more positive as much as you can. It's obviously still homework, but supporting your child in dealing with their struggles, I guess.
So there you have it. Your child can learn, succeed and reach their full potential with the right support. So if you are worried though that your child might have a learning difficulty, ask your GP to refer you to the amazing team at Townsville Paediatrics. They have a team of specialised paediatricians with a huge range of specialty areas. So your child's going to be in very good hands and you'll finally get to the bottom of that worry that you've had.